Hello everyone. Welcome to my channel. Please subscribe and keep watching more details. Kathy whispered about Mauricio to Erika at the reunion. I would be so jealous. The Real Housewives of Beverly Hills Season 14 followed Kyle Richards' journey in the wake of her separation from husband Mauricio Umansky. So naturally, Part 3 of the reunion included her reflecting on that experience. She wasn't the only one. Kyle's estranged friend, Dorit Kemsley, was processing her own split from Paul P.K. Kemsley throughout the season as well. But as host Andy Cohen observed during the reunion, the men, who are still close, have had vastly different experiences with the wives during their respective separations. To underscore that point, the reunion showed a social media clip of Mauricio and PK hanging out with Summer House cast member and DJ Kyle Cook in Miami Beach. I would be so jealous and hurt, Kyle's sister Kathy Hilton whispered to Erika Jane, who was seated next to her on the couch. With a note of admiration, or maybe even awe, Kathy added, "She's not." But before that happened, Andy wanted honest opinions from Dorit and Kyle about the duo's behavior. Dorit told Andy that she wasn't surprised by the Miami Beach video. Kyle, however, had more to say. "See those kinds of things," she began with a laugh. Split of Paul Kemsley and Mauricio Umansky attends the Homeless Not Toothless Hollywood Gala at the Beverly Hilton on April 22, 2023 in Beverly Hills, California. Photo: Jess Grant/Getty Images for Homeless Not Toothless. "It turns you off," Kathy offered. "Yeah, then I would not be coming home after seeing those videos, let me tell you," Kyle said, rolling her eyes in exasperation. "I'm like, no. In fact, she likes those little reminders that she and her ex are no longer on the same page." As Andy put it, Kyle doesn't have FOMO about Mauricio's travel or partying she sees on social media. At least, not anymore. Though she does grieve the loss of the life she had with her husband of 30 years, Kyle confirmed to Andy during the reunion that staying separated is still for the best. Her sister, on the other hand, told a surprised Andy that she does hope for a reconciliation between the two. But as Kyle explained, that's mostly because Kathy is very emotional about changes. The cameras had stopped rolling, but the energy still crackled like static clinging to Couture. The final moments of the reunion were always like that, layered with unspoken truths, tension, and the leftover confetti of revelations. The ladies were scattered across the plush, oversized sofas, sipping champagne with the practiced elegance of women who'd survived yet another season of televised chaos. Kathy Hilton sat, serene as ever, her smile like porcelain, unmoving, mysterious. Her oversized sunglasses had long been removed, revealing eyes that glinted with something between nostalgia and mischief. Across from her, Erika Jane twirled a perfectly manicured finger around the stem of her glass, still absorbing the emotional bombshells that had landed earlier in the day. That's when it happened. Kathy leaned in. No cameras, no mix. Just a whisper, low, slow, and deliberate, the kind that changes the temperature in the room without anyone fully understanding why. "I would be so jealous," she said, lips barely moving. Erika froze, just for a beat. Then that sly, enigmatic Erika's smirk curved upward, like she'd just been handed a particularly juicy diamond wrapped in velvet. "What do you mean?" she asked, eyes narrowing slightly. Her voice was measured, careful, curious. But Kathy only smiled wider, eyes dancing with the sparkle of secrets she'd never fully spill. Let's rewind. All season long, Mauricio Umansky, Kyle Richards' husband, had been a shadow in the drama. Present in name if not often in scene. His name had drifted through dinner parties, car rides, and whispered phone calls like a ghost of loyalty, betrayal, and the quiet unraveling of a seemingly perfect marriage. Rumors swirled about distance, about flirtations, about paths diverging quietly while cameras rolled and fans speculated. But at the reunion, emotions had flared. Kyle had cried, lips trembling as she confessed how hard it had been. Erika had offered comfort in her own sharp-tongued way, and Kathy, the ever-watchful older sister, had remained still, but beneath eyes that never stillness, leaving Kyle. There was a current, and that's what led to the whisper. Back to the moment. Kathy didn't answer Erika's question. She didn't need to, because Erika, savvy and sharp, understood something had shifted. She replayed the whisper in her mind like a lyric from a forbidden song. I would be so jealous. The implications were dizzying. Was it admiration? A hint of past attraction? Regret? In Beverly Hills, a compliment is never just a compliment, and a whisper is rarely just a whisper. Later, in her confessional, a place of glitter and guile, Erika would lean back and say, I don't know what Kathy meant exactly, but honey, she meant something. Speculation ignited like wildfire. Fans on social media dissected the moment frame by frame. Lip readers attempted their analysis. I would be so jealous trended on TikTok for 48 hours. Twitter erupted with fan theories ranging from innocent nostalgia to full-blown conspiracy. One theory, Kathy had harbored a crush on Mauricio back in the day, when he was just a handsome young real estate hustler marrying her baby sister. Another theory, she was commenting on how gracefully Kyle had built a life with him, despite all the cracks and creases that had formed. And then there was the most tantalizing idea of all, that Kathy wasn't speaking about the past or even the present, that her whisper was a window into something unspoken and unresolved. Because jealousy in Beverly Hills isn't about wanting someone's husband, it's about longing for their freedom, their narrative, their glow. Maybe Kathy, once the queen bee of Hollywood royalty, envied how Erika had risen from scandal, rebirth, and reinvention with fire in her eyes. Maybe she saw Mauricio, smooth, successful, and increasingly independent, as a symbol of something Kathy could no longer have, the thrill of possibility. But there's one more layer. Unbeknownst to most, there was an old photo, tucked away in a dusty corner of the Hilton family archives. A picture from the early 90s, Kathy in a white linen dress, Mauricio at a summer barbecue, laughing, close, too close maybe. Innocent, perhaps, but loaded with energy. That photo resurfaced in a fan forum days after the reunion. Is this why she whispered it? The caption read, was it? Only Kathy knows, and she's not telling. Instead, she plays coy during her appearance on Watch What Happens Live. When Andy Cohen presses her about the whisper, she simply fans herself and says, Oh Andy, don't you know by now I only whisper when it matters most? So what did she really mean? Maybe she meant she'd be jealous of any woman who held Mauricio's attention now that Kyle was in flux. Maybe she meant that watching her sister lose something that's stable and real stirred something deep in her. Not just sadness, but envy. Or maybe, just maybe, Kathy was reminding everyone that in the land of diamonds and drama, the juiciest truths are always whispered, never shouted. Because in Beverly Hills, secrets aren't kept in vaults. They're worn like perfume, invisible, intoxicating, and impossible to ignore. And so the legend of the whisper lives on. I would be so jealous. 7 words, 1,000 interpretations. But one thing's for sure, that whisper, it wasn't just for Erika.